Okay, so this, I'm gonna just repeat myself a little bit since we just started recording. So we're talking about the as-built process that we're defining in Sunrise. And the first step is the crew lead or the electrician are gonna be asked in site capture where design changes made in the field. And it's gonna say any design changes made in the field require ROM approval. This is gonna drive them to call you guys and discuss design changes made in the field. Because one of the things of this initiative is that we don't want to be doing this process if we don't have to, because it's going to be cumbersome and it's going to make it more difficult to pass inspections if we're going through this whole process in general. The options are yes, design change, and no, built as designed. If the user answers yes, there's a design change in the field, then they'll be prompted to upload a redline sketch. So we're not going to be asking the AROM to do the redline sketch in Sunrise. We're going to be asking the field user to do it on the design construction set that they have in the field. Take a pen, mark it up, say what changed, and take a picture of that and upload it to the site capture report, because the field user is the person who knows what design changes are happening, and the AROM, for the most part, is going to have to do like research to figure that out. So that's the first step. That doesn't prompt any tasks or anything to be generated in Sunrise. It's just trying to collect information from the field about design changes that were made. But no field user is going to have the ability to request an as-built. They're just going to be telling you, hey, I made this design change in the field, and they're going to upload a picture to the site capture report. The next part of the process is going to happen on the construction complete task. On the construction complete task, which is going to be completed by the ROM, it's going to ask you as an as-built required, yes or no. It's also going to ask for an as-built reason so that we can start to track and understand why we're requesting so many as-builts, because ultimately what we want to do is improve our designs so that we limit the number of as-builts happening in the field. We want to design it right the first time. And so to understand why we're requesting as-builts, we're going to ask y'all to fill out the as-built reason whenever you say as-built required is yes. There's also, where does the red line populate in Sunrise? So the red line sketch is going to be uploaded to the site capture report. So the site capture report right now is being transferred from site capture to Sunrise under installation photos. There's the roof and the electrical folder. And so if there are design changes made to the roof, then that will be on the roof site capture report. If there are design changes made by the electrician, then that will be on the electrical site capture report. The red line sketch, we're not asking the AROMs to do it because right now we have a backlog of 130 red line sketches in a task queue, and they're from like April to May to June. And I think like for the AROM to figure out the change made in the field would require them to dig through a lot of pictures and do research. Whereas like right when the design change happened in the field, the electrician knows what changed and they can just mark up a picture and upload it to that site capture report, and it'll be a lot easier for the design team to know what changed. Now, if you decide that there's going to be an as-built, you also want to choose post-install interconnection resubmittal required. I know this is kind of wordy, and post-install permit resubmittal required. So you need to just tell the CAM team, I need you to resubmit the interconnection, or I need you to resubmit the permit. It might not always be both. It's up to your discretion and your knowledge of the AHJs and the utility companies that you work with, whether this utility doesn't care and this city does care. Like, you're going to know that best. And so you're going to tell the design team and the CAM team whether we need to resubmit for interconnection and whether we need to resubmit for permit. If one of those is selected yes, then that's going to prevent you from scheduling the utility inspection until CAM has resubmitted the interconnection application, or prevent you from scheduling the city inspection until CAM has resubmitted the permit application. That way you don't have projects in your scheduling inspection queues that aren't ready to schedule for the inspection. And then finally, we have this field as-built notes. The as-built notes field is just a free text field where you can paste a note to the designer that's going to tell them what changed, what they need to do. The ROM, as much as they can, is responsible for telling the design team exactly what they want on the AsBuilt so that you can ensure that you're going to pass that inspection the first time. Once all of those fields are filled out, you check off the construction complete task. By the way, construction complete is just us renaming upload commissioning report. We used to have the task called upload commissioning report that was blocked by electrical install complete and crew install complete. And that had a required document upload. We finally got rid of that now that we've implemented site capture. So there's no need to upload a picture of a PDF or a scanned PDF commissioning report anymore. So we decided to rename that task to something that made more sense. And construction complete is basically you, the ROM, saying this job is completed and it is going to pass inspection. As long as we have the designs matching what happened in the field, this job is done and it is ready to be inspected. It is going to pass inspection. So that does require you to review both the roof and electrical site capture report and confirm whether or not there's an as-built or interconnection and permit resubmittal required. Once the construction complete task is done, 3 things will happen. And I've made a little flowchart down here so that you can visualize it a little better. One thing that's going to happen is the design team is going to be immediately prompted to make the as-built. So we're moving the red line sketch task from Sunrise because as I mentioned, there's a backlog of 130 red line sketches to be made. And there is not a lot of confidence that anybody remembers why we requested the as-built in the first place, since they've been aging for a long time. So now that we're requesting that straight from site capture, we're not going to need the red line sketch task anymore. So we're going to eliminate that task from Sunrise, and projects will flow straight from construction complete into the as-built queue for design. And if everything was done properly, then we should have all the information the design team needs to proceed with the as-built. Now, Ben has requested that the ROM also upload a red line sketch to the project under files. So you just go to files, upload a red line sketch. But basically, the goal is a project should never make it from construction complete to the as-built queue without the design team having 100% of the information they need to make the as-built. Now, the design team's going to do the as-built. They're going to complete it. They're going to upload it to Sunrise. They're going to replace any existing designs so that everyone is clear on what the final design was. We're not going to submit the wrong design when requesting inspections or something like that. And then once the design is completed, it's going to go into one of 2 task flows. The post-install interconnection resubmittal flow, which will have a post-install resubmit interconnection application task and post-install upload interconnection application approval. So this is if you said there was a post-install interconnection resubmittal required, it will do this and it will block schedule utility inspection. So you will not be prompted to schedule utility inspection until the CAM team has resubmitted the interconnection application and uploaded a new approval. Similarly, if you say that there is a post-install permit resubmittal required on the construction complete task, then it will prompt the CAM team to resubmit the permit, and that will block schedule utility city inspection. Oh, I just see a typo there. That's supposed to say permit. I'll fix that on the little diagram. So yeah, basically the ROM, when they're filling out the construction complete task, is going to decide whether there's an as-built required and whether we need to resubmit interconnection and resubmit for permit. And when they check off construction complete, the ROM needs to be sure that if this goes straight into the design team's as-built queue, they have 100% of the information they need in order to make the as-built. Because you don't want to get into any back and forth with the design team about the as-built, because that's going to be painful to support that kind of process in Sunrise. So a clean handoff there is really important. And then, yeah, that just goes straight into your normal inspections queues. So basically, this is putting in a way for the as-built to block us from requesting the inspection until we have an accurate design that reflects what was installed in the field. and the designs with the city permit and the utilities interconnection application have been updated if necessary. Does anyone have any questions about that?
And did we go over like what's required as far as a red line sketch and information to design? Basically, guys, I don't want designers doing investigative work to figure out what's changed. You need to tell them exactly what's changed so they can open up the design, move solar panels, change wire size, whatever, and get this thing submitted. Right? And the ROM is the only one who knows exactly what. So, and you guys have to be the ones who approve this. That's the main focus here is like to limit design changes post-construction, because you're going to gatekeep that. You're going to be the only one who can approve in the field design changes, and you will be the only one who can request. You're the one who knows, like, do we need to make an as-built or not? If we can go on through inspection and we don't need to request inspections, it's a different story than if we have to go and resubmit both of these tasks. It adds a lot of time and frustration to the customer. And if I'm asking to prioritize these, the area that you're responsible for is like making it as easy as possible for them to make these changes without having to do any research for the project. Anybody see a reason this won't work? Any feedback? Okay, this is y'all's only queue. Is this their only queue, David?
Construction complete? Yeah. It used to be closed project too, but now there's just a program that checks that off.
Yeah, so this is your only queue. I'm never going to ask you if it's backed up or any of that shit. This is something you do every single day. This is the process to get these projects out of your life. And when you can complete construction without any redesign work, then you should be able to hand it off and never think about that project again, because your AROM can take it successfully from there. But you're verifying that it's installed correctly, installed to the design. All of the documentation is correct. So everything downstream of you can operate normally because you've done this review. Okay. And so if you're not doing however many you're installing, I know you guys know this, but if you're not checking off construction complete on the amount that you're installing that day, you're going to be in a hole pretty quick. So don't let it languish. Like, this should be one of the top priorities. In fact, on your top 10, this should be your debrief and construction complete should be in the top 10 things that you do every day. If you got 5 crews, you need to be checking off 8 jobs in this queue, or else you're going to end up with a bunch of a lot of wait time on customers. Thank you, David, for putting this together. It's great.
All right. I will send out the recording and embed it in this knowledge base article and share this with you guys after the meeting. And yeah, thank you for listening.